All right, so good to have you back. It's still the Monday edition of the Good Morning Cross River. Now, a couple of weeks back, the entire world went out to celebrate the women in what we call the International Women's Day. And also last month, we equally had the Mother's Day. Now, everything is centered around the women because indeed they say women they make the world go round. Just imagine a world without the woman. Now, before we get to that bigger picture of a woman, it starts from the prime. It starts from the age where we could call it the formative, and if we miss it at that level, the bigger picture of that woman would have a whole form of dysfunctionalities. And now we have the office of the vice president of the Student Union Government, UNICA, have come up together to push all of the celebration further, to talk more about the girl child, about the women. And I have joining me a team that would be lending a voice on a very special program that is coming up in the city of Calabar, mainly for the women. And let me quickly introduce Her Excellency, the Vice President of the SUG UNICA, Chinasa Juliet. Chinasa, good morning. So good to have you join us.
Thank you so much. Good morning.
You've been a regular guest on the show, so it's a way to have you back again.
Thank you.
And let me also recognize and introduce retired Justice Doreen Osuji. She is the ex-wild Chief Judge of the SUG High Court and the first female judge at that level. Thank you very much, ma. Good morning.
Good morning to you too. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, and the last but not the least, we have Honorable Uche Ekunife. She is the president of the Nigerian Union of Campus Journalists. Good morning. So good to have you join us.
Good morning. Good morning.
Okay, so let me start with the SUG Vice President. Let's look at the women. A whole lot. Last month alone, we had 2 celebrations, to push the cause of the women further. And now we're seeing your office, and when we saw this, we needed to quickly bring it up and blow it open to give it more effective representation. Talk to us about this. Why did you decide to celebrate the women more? And you call it decency is classy.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having us in the show. My name is Comrade Obasichinado Juliet, like you've explained, and the Office of the Vice President is mainly for the welfare of Nigerian students. And being a woman, being a lady, and I sent out all around the student, the female, the Malabases. So from my office, this Decency is Classy is one of the key major projects I really want to do, because I believe that women, like he said, we rule the world these days. So if you look at so many offices, so many positions, we're actually growing, we are making it, we're coming out. So I want a way whereby Malabasis will get to know that as a woman, decency is everything. I mean, it's the way you address, that's where they address you. And you mustn't show off your body, your curves, your cleavages. That's when you can be mentioned, or you'll be noticed, or you'll be counted part of the ruling people in the world. I mean, there's so many women out there who are making it, and I'm one person who look up to people who are actually there already, and I've read a lot about them, and I've seen how they carry themselves. They're actually doing so well, and they don't show all those curves and all those that these days our ladies do dress and wear. So I thought it wise to actually organize this program for the female students, because I believe that they are still growing. I mean, here in school we could see a lot of them dressing that way, and if we don't catch them now, just like in their prime, there's no way, if they leave this university, most of them are going to get it all wrong. So that is why from the Office of the Vice President, we decided to put this out there to create this awareness for them to know that as a woman, decency is actually classy. You can actually cover yourself and still look it. I mean, looking at 3 of us, we are here looking all, decent, and then looking classy and catchy and all that. So please, Malabasis, this program is organized for you all, and it's mainly for you.
Thank you so very much. Let me bring in the retired Justice Doreen. Let's look at the theme. The theme is a woman in her prime, the African woman and her body. Talk to us on this. A woman in her prime. It's quite catchy.
Oh, thank you so much. I think it's really, really beautiful, and like you said, catchy theme. And I think that most times as women, especially women in our prime, many people see the need to get attention through, their bodies and all of that. But I think that you can actually get the attention that you require by, first of all, coming out, properly dressed, good looking. I mean, it's always important when people say, like she rightly pointed out before we started the show, dress the way you want to be addressed. So mainly when women are in their prime, you see that their bodies are just, flourishing and all of that. So they feel they need to just show it off and all of that in order to feel beautiful. But we are here right now to tell you that you can look and feel so beautiful while, not revealing your, private body parts and all of that. So as a woman in your prime, there's so much more for you to do. Like there's so much. There's so much for you to explore. There's the whole world for you to see. There's a whole lot for you to do. So, just this is your prime. Like I'd like to tell young girls, it's your prime. Do what you can, make the best of it.
Excellent. Uche, let me bring you in now. You are the president of the Nigerian Union of Campus Journalists. Let's look at those challenges that the woman in her prime experiences.
Okay. I think being a journalist, I've actually been in a setting whereby you get to see a lot of things go wrong. You get to get reports that, yes, some of the funny things are happening. And when you go out to the public, to the setting, they tell you that she wore what she wants to wear. And then with what she wore, we're able to ascertain that, yes, this is what she wants. If you wear that you want to be seen on the street, to be addressed by a street person, to be talked down on, people who address you that same way. I'm going to narrow it down to one of the ideas or the main reason why the vice president actually deemed it fit to be on the show today is because we had an issue in the University of Calabar whereby the vice chancellor had to, I'm saying this on the angle of being a journalist right now, had to stop on boats. It made a headway that the vice chancellor had made instructions that boats should not come into the university setting. Now when you find out, we had to carry on series of investigation and we realized that some students are being sexually harassed, some students are being raped, molested, and this boils down to the fact that whilst going to school, you don't get stopped at the checkpoint. You see a student wearing a breast tube, you see a student walking out. I've seen one, I videoed one, wear a top and a pant to an exam setting. It was an eyesore. I think it's a challenge because if you wear this, as a woman I am, no matter how well I'm dressed, it dawns on me that because of the immediate reactions, immediate misinterpretations of all the other ladies around me, if I am dressed this way and two other persons are dressed so badly, I am affected. I can't talk properly in the public and not hear something like this a shower. It's just a common slang. So I think drawing it from the conclusion and the angle of Chimamanda when she said, you wear what you want to wear. You are dressed to wear the way you wear. We know she's a core feminist, but she also says it that a woman should be decent in all ramifications. So I think this is a more challenge because as a woman, if we want to be known in the society, we have to look like we deserve to be in the society. That's just it.
Oh, great. Okay, so Madam Vice President, let's look at the guest list. Who are we having that will be talking to the women as regards decency is classy?
Thank you. This program is not ordinary. Like, I've had so much comments, so many people come to my DM to ask, oh, Madam Vice President, are we paying for it? I mean, we've seasoned this because we actually looked out for the best. We've actually looked at women who has done so much in the society, who has contributed so much into growing young women into becoming who they are today. And one of them who is a crossover, like we have to look out for, Mrs. JustinaOvat. She will be there live, and we'll be looking at Mrs. Grace. She works in Unical, in alumni board, so she will be there live. And first, let me not even forget to mention our lovely Vice Chancellor, who is an advocate of good living and for young women and decency. She preached this like all the time to students, anywhere, anytime. Because when I brought this up, she was like, yes, this is actually a nice program. Like for her, this is, you know, what we should be talking about, because this is part of her project to make sure that women realize that this is actually the right thing to do. So she will be there to talk to our students. We'll be having the former vice president, Abasi Ofiok. She will be there. We'll also be having Grace Intekim. She will be there live to speak to our young women. We'll be also having Princess Onome. Oh my God! Like if you follow her up, you know that she is actually a great and strong woman. So please, Malabite and Malabesis, you don't have to miss. We're also having Favour Abatang. She will be there, and we'll be having her as the host for the panel session. She'll be the moderator. So I'll be there. She'll be there. I mean, we have a lot of packages. They're giving you impactful words, so please don't miss out. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. Retired Justice, there's something I want to really bring up real quick, because in all of this, some of the women that have dressed indecently had fallen into one problem. So I'd love you to talk to us. What could be those consequences of indecent dressing?
Thank you very much for that question. I think that I'd like to really confess that that's quite a controversial question, because first of all, let me really say this. Some people, before I say my opinion on this, most people think that it's an excuse for a person to be raped or sexually assaulted because of what he or she is wearing. I don't subscribe to that opinion. And it doesn't matter what the person is wearing. Nobody deserves to be humiliated and raped like that. But sadly, you see people try to make excuses for these things. And to answer your question, some of the consequences of indecent exposure or indecent dressing. First of all, the consequence on the society is that it waters down the society, waters down the fiber morals of the society. Of course, our society is one which is founded and deeply rooted in morality. So first of all, it waters down the moral standards of the society. The consequences are on the younger generation. You set a standard for them that, okay, this is cool too. And it's not okay. It's not okay to expose your genitals. One, it's sexual assault on the people who are watching you. It's disrespectful to people who are watching you. So on the person who is wearing, the indecent clothes, you are actually subjecting yourself to being raped. And again, you honestly will not be taken very seriously if you are, being dressed in an indecent manner. You will not be taken seriously. It's always said, dress the way you want to be addressed. And again, you won't be comfortable. To be very honest, I can't imagine myself wearing, things that I'm supposed to wear to, bathing suits to the beach, wearing it out here. I honestly will not be comfortable. I will really be uncomfortable. And again, I will not have enough confidence, because I think most times when you wear certain kind of things, when you dress well, there's this kind of aura around you. You feel confident when you dress well. So I'm speaking from experience. I mean, I feel really confident seated here. I feel really good, right? So that's why I'm always going to advise women to dress decently. And I think that decency is not just about what you're wearing. It's about how your composure, how you carry yourself. Do you fit into the environment that you are in at this point in time? And I feel like yes, I actually do. We do fit into this environment at this point in time. So yeah, that's what I think on the consequences of indecency.
Okay, thank you very much, Uche. Let's look at now. This may likely be a one-off because of it's not easy to fix up programs. So, but how would we, push this cause further? A woman in her prime after the event. How would we ensure that it will not just end by tomorrow? After that event, what machinery would we set on ground to push this cause further?
Okay, you mean in the society at large or within the University of Calabar?
With and outside as well.
Okay. The measures are quite not a simple task. It's going to be like a backlash because you have to be castigated. But I think within the school setting, one of the measures is to ensure that proper rules and regulation. Of course, those rules and regulations has always been set up, but the implementation is just what is the problem. So if we're going to have to continuously have, I remember when I was in Lagos State, when I was a student, I also wore white and black as a secondary school student. We had this thing, the governor at the time had to arrest students that wore raggy clothes on the road. So if we can get that done, like a body shaming kind of person, I know it's not quite right to body shame anyone, to body shame a woman, but imagine you wearing a tie that it's torn and you're coming into the school where you know that you're supposed to, a school is not where you just learn in books, you learn in character as well. So I think if we have security personnel keep on tabs, and also continuous programs as this. It's called a reformative mode. The students cannot, some people that have this built-in, we understand that this is not like a society, it's not something that some of them does not deserve or desire to just wear it. It's a society they were born into, the home bringing they were done, they were encouraged into. So we could also extend this teaching to the parents as well. We could also have a one-on-one interface with those parents. The TV stations as this could also help make it a program, a continuous program. We could also, when it comes to the general society, we could deserve to go inside the streets and say, okay, we're doing this, we're sharing clothes, we're trying to do a drama setup. And then I think if we should have some programs, some rehabilitation programs, one-on-one, is going to go a very long way. It's going to go a very, very long way.
Okay, great. Great, Madam Vice President. Let's look at those special features we are looking at. And someone who is coming, what are the expectations?
Oh, okay. Our invitees, Malabites and Malabrites, will be expecting a lot from the Office of the Vice President and her team. We have set aside the medical team that will be doing a medical checkup for you. We'll be having hepatitis B checkup, HIV, malaria test. We'll also be having refreshments, which is very important. And then we'll also be sharing sanitary pad, very, very important. You don't have to miss. And that's coming from Zena, sponsored by Zena. Then, yeah, and we're having free condoms. Yes, because we care about your health. This is not actually all about the descent like she mentioned. We're not just talking about your clothing, but how you comport yourself, coordinate yourself as a growing woman, you understand? So we believe that health is wealth. So we are giving the condoms based on your health, and we'll be, be having health talk on that day too. We're having so many brands coming into doctors with some products, pad as well. So we actually have loads of packages.
Great. Okay, Doreen, I have to call your first name now. Let's look at where is this happening and when is it and the time.
Okay, so it will be happening in the Unical Conference Center.
Okay.
By
11 a.m. Yes.
11 a.m.
That's tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay. I'd love you to take that again, so that one who is watching should Tuesday, 4th April.
Okay, so it's going to be happening on the 4th of April this year, 2020.
That's tomorrow.
Tomorrow by 11 a.m. in the Unical Conference Center. You cannot afford to miss this. It's going to be lovely.
All right, real quick, in 30 seconds, Uche, let's get your parting shot for the women. Especially, I love the caption, women in prime. Talk to us on that. Let's get in 30 seconds, say your last word for the women.
Okay, I'll just say this is the time for us to be who we want to be, who we choose to be, and who we want to be addressed as. And to round this up and say that, remember that tomorrow is pregnant. You might think you're doing everything like what they say. It's not about your dressing, your mood, your life, your way of living. And tomorrow you want to be in the political setting. We had a deputy governor aspirant who was actually a video of her on the internet where she was actually, living her life. So let us live the life that we wish to be remembered for. It is now. It is this time. It is not tomorrow. Tomorrow is today.
With our justice, let's get your word.
Yes, I think that as a woman in your prime, I think this is exactly the time when you need to achieve everything that you want to achieve. This is your time. I like to call it, this is your structuring time. You take the opportunity you have now to dream. You take the opportunity you have now to learn. You take the opportunity you have now to grow. So as a woman in your prime, the time is actually now.
Okay, Madam Vice President.
Okay, my dear Malabites and Malabrites, please let me point now that the program is not just for the female students, because when we talk about decent, we also have male students who dress indecent to school. I've seen lots of them. I mean, you don't need to show me your boxers. I don't want to see that, please. And also, you have to dress not all rag clothes, and it's not really nice for us to see all those things. So we are pleading. It's really a point, like, we are so concerned about you, the Office of the Vice President, and all of us here, we love you so much that we want you to live your life now. Decency is not out of place, it's not out of fashion, it's not out of point that you will be like, oh, if you don't dress like today's people to wear all those crop tops, that means you not belong, you're not in the happening, you're not happening, babe. No, I've been in school since my year 1, and I am actually so proud of myself, because since then I can say that I can never even find a bit one of those clothes in my wardrobe. I mean, why would I want to wear that when I can look like this and still look
classy?
Awesome. Please, the program is for everyone. I would like you to be there. I want to see you tomorrow by 11 a.m. The packages I have for you are for you. I can't just take what belongs to you. So please, Zena got you. Our Honorable Uche Kunife, she'll be our host tomorrow. Please come and hear more of our voice. She will be there. Just take a look at this beautiful lady. She'll be there to speak to you. Please don't miss out. I'm pleading. So our Vice Chancellor will also be happy to see you. I mean, the mother of the school. Please come so that we all could have this discussion and get to know. Maybe if you feel that that's the reason why you dress the way you do, I mean, bring it out. We could give you a platform to speak on, so we could understand why. Because to us, we don't feel comfortable in those dresses. So I don't know if you do feel comfortable in it. Please come and tell us. We want to know. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And I must really give a special shout out to Zenax, and that is coming from our own darling Jasam Brown. Jasam, thank you very much for being part of this vision to ensure that the woman in her prime is very classy. Excellency Chinasa Juliet, I must thank you so very much, the Vice President of the SUG UNICAL. Thank you for finding time to grace our sets this morning. And not forgetting retired Justice Doreen Osuji, SYL Chief Judge, SUG High Court. Thank you very much, ma'am, for your time. And my colleague, journalist, seasoned journalist, Honorable Uche Kunife. She's the president of the Nigerian Union of Campus Journalists. Thank you, ma'am, for your time.
Very much, sir.
Okay, so this is where we want to bring this segment to an end. Stay with us. We'll take a very short break, and the next time you see us, we will be having a talk with M.O. Ajuka. Let's look at what the road safety is doing to ensure that lives are safe, or they're safe on the streets of Calabar. Don't go away. It's still the Monday edition of Good Morning Cross River. Stay with us.